But beyond that, what else can you learn? Are you stuck on, oh, he's a simp, right? And these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. And number 2, should comedy justify Chris Rock? I think so. But also, if you're a comedian, you should expect that you may get punched in your face for saying the wrong things. I mean, I don't know. If you're offending people right in their face, especially someone like Will Smith. I don't know. I don't think it was expected, but again, anything can happen, right? So I think comedy did justify, because once you put it out there, it becomes public domain, and people make jokes with it. They make joke with it, right? I would be wise about that if that's my colleague. I don't have to make such jokes to make money as Chris Rock. I'm not no newbie Godfrey type of comedian, right? It was a little tasteless, but again, it depends on whose opinion that is. In my opinion, I think comedy is a beautiful thing in life, and we should protect comedy. Did Will Smith do this for Jada? No. Now, it depends on what you mean, right? What do you mean by that? It's like, again, the hypocrisy out here, right? In one breath, we want nuclear family. We're shaming women for destroying nuclear family. In the other breath, you're shaming a man that's trying to protect himself by way of protecting his family. What do I mean by protecting himself? For those of you that are Christians, because some of you claim you're doing the Christian, and this is what you use to manipulate other people sometimes, right? This is what Ephesians 5:28 says. Verse 28, in the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. When we say love, what do we mean by that? The precise difference between love and respect is that you're willing to die for. So what do you mean by, don't put yourself in harm's way because such a wife? What do you mean? What is such a wife? That kind of wife? What does that kind of wife mean? Why? Because she had transgressions in the past? The one event that you all know about? Oh, the Tupac? See, every time you bring up Tupac and August Alsina, when it comes to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, so it tells me more about you. It tells me more about your insecurities. It tells me more about how you would react. Even if there's no real crisis, it just looks like it. You probably will lose your shit, right? It tells me more about that, right? The truth is that we don't know what we don't know. For all we know that they took a break. Yes, it was an idea. Yes, that marriage was in an extremely weak place. But what marriage do you know that has survived the test of times? I've been married for 15 years. I can speak to this happily, right? What marriage do you know that stood the test of time, that have never gone through the weakest that any human being can go through and any marriage can go through, right? Do you even know what those things are? You don't know. For the most part, you don't know what those things are. You just happen to know this particular people's story because, again, Will Smith fucked up by bringing this to the surface, by even making this a thing at all. You see what I'm saying? So, loving as your own bodies. If you know the definition of love in the context of marriage, it means you're willing to put yourself in harm's way. It's not something you decide to do like a simp. If you're truly in a marriage, right? If you're truly in a marriage that means anything to anyone, you will naturally feel that. Just like a woman who is receiving that love from you will naturally respect, submit, and trust. Okay? What does that look like? Love sometimes is actually the masculine energy that you're looking for. It means you're willing to die, put yourself in the harm's way for your family. But some of you are stuck on, oh yeah, she was for the streets, so she did this, she did that. I don't know how that matters. And I heard somebody earlier today said, once you lose respect, you can't gain it anymore. Says woo. Respect is earned 100% of the time. I don't care how much you've lost the respect, you can earn it back. The only thing you may not be able to earn back, maybe because of the extent of damages, is maybe the in-love effect or somebody coming back to be your spouse. You may not be able to get that back, but respect is 100% earned. As long as you have time, you can always earn respect back. All it takes is consistency. That's it. A changed behavior, consistency. People have no choice but to respect you when you bring consistency and change behavior to the table. That means the function of time is a function of patience, right? People say that because they lose their shit, they lost patience, they lost their family, they lost their wife. And once you lose it, you can't gain respect back. Says who, okay? Have you spoken to people that have gotten their family back, such as Will Smith, or you're just running your mouth because of one scene you saw on the internet yesterday? I'm going to guess is the latter, okay? I'm going to guess that all the people you're talking to are divorcees or people that have never experienced the idea of a woman falling in love with them before in the past. So of course it's easy to run your mouth from that standpoint. Let's go back, right? So the true definition of love is, yes, you're willing to put yourself in harm's way and fuck what happened in the past, okay? It doesn't matter what happened in the past, okay? And you wouldn't know naturally because you've never gone through this. You never experienced this before. But if you've experienced it, you know what it means for someone to get their wife back, to get their husband back, to put their family back together, to keep their home in order. If you were not able to put your own home in order, you lost your family, you got to acknowledge that first. And then realize that there's something you still need to learn, because every marriage will go through something similar where you almost lost it. Why? Because you don't have context. You don't know what you don't know until you're in it, right? All right, so that's fourth question. Okay, would you defend your lady like Will Smith? Okay, now it's a simple move. Would you defend your lady like Will Smith? Let me ask you, right? Or you're just gonna punk out and say, oh yeah, because she was for the street, she did this to me last year, or you're gonna justify not being able to move on another guy and throw him a nice punch in the face just because you felt like it? Yes, out of character. Yes, out of you got caught up in emotion. But are you bold enough? Because I think that's much more of a bold move than it's a simple move, if you ask me. Okay, never mind that you think I'm justifying it. Whatever. What I'm saying is that, are you gonna sit there like a punk if you feel some type of way, or actually get up? Yes, caught up in your emotions sometimes and do what you gotta do. Sometimes a man gotta do what it's gotta do. That's how life works. That's what being a man is too, by the way. Being a man doesn't mean you're always perfect. I don't encourage violence. I don't encourage getting caught up in your emotions, because you can lose everything. Lose your bag, lose the brand, lose your family in that process, lose your freedom, right? I don't encourage it, right? But I'm also telling you that part of being a man is to admit that you're not perfect. Stop trying to solve everyone's problem. That was probably a mistake that Will Smith was making too, but you get the gist there, right? The idea is, stop trying to think that you're not a macho man like that, okay? Be okay with imperfection. A lot of you are reading all of these books and you're trying to be perfect, and that's why you're stuck in a limbo and you think you're protecting yourself. Whereas you've basically captured yourself in a castle and you can't get out. You don't have freedom. You're afraid. Every time you see a young lady, you can't even recognize the feminine energy from the masculine energy. You see pygmies, you consider them feminine energy. You don't know the difference. You're confused, right? Just because you had some past experience. And life is about experience. That means sometimes it's not perfect. That means sometimes you fall flat on your face, you pick it up, you brush it off. And that's how you learn the best in life, from experience, right? Not knowledge. Not knowledge from textbooks, right? Oh, it's a textbook simp, it's a beta male, blah. Cut the crap. That's the easy part, right? We've acknowledged they fucked up when they did the red table. They fucked up when he went out of character yesterday. But beyond that, what else can you learn? Are you stuck on, oh, he's a simp, right?